frying. Now, wait till that goes on. Avocado oil, or you could use any kind of oil. Sunflower oil, rapeseed oil. The only one to avoid for cooking is sesame oil. So sesame oil is used as a flavour rather than for cooking. And that's hot enough. Just first thing that goes in are my onions. Pop those in there, get the heat going through, release more of that flavour. Followed by my courgettes. So these are chopped about a couple of centimetre cubes. In they go. Now courgettes will take a little while to soften and to cook. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to reduce the heat down a bit. Let it cook slowly there. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these. Well, we know them as fried tofu, fried bean curd. And they're very, very spongy, so I don't know whether you can see that. Now, these are shop bought, and they're actually made from a different recipe to the normal tofu that you get. So it's not a case of just buying the tofu block and deep frying. This is actually made to a slightly different recipe. And when they've been fried, they're very, very spongy. They look almost like sponges actually. And all we've done there is cut them in half. But these are really good. Oops. These are really good for providing a bit of bite to whatever you're cooking, because vegetables tend to be quite soft. And if you want something that holds up more to the stir frying, then the fried bean curd will do the job there. Now the great thing about these as well is you can get bigger ones, and the bigger ones are ideal for stuffing. So once you cut them in half, you should actually take out some of that filling that's in there and replace with whatever you want. And then you can, do them as a stir fry or under the grill even. This is what I'm going to be using. This is our Yaus Thai green curry paste. This is a little bit different from most of the range in that it's actually very, very concentrated. So rather than crack open the jar and pour it straight in, you're only using a very small amount at a time. We'd recommend about a heat tablespoon per person. In here, all your fresh Thai ingredients, you've got lemongrass, you've got galangal, kaffir lime, so it saves you the trouble of actually having to process all of those ingredients individually to create that really nice Thai fragrance. For the volume, we're using coconut milk. Now this particular coconut milk is the Chowco, so it's pronounced Chowco. And I used to supply these to Thai restaurants, and the reason they use this particular one is simply because it doesn't contain all the emulsifiers that you will often find in some of the other supermarket brands. The thing about Thai curries is that they tend to be a thinner consistency, so they're not thick like say like an Indian curry can sometimes be. It's a very thin consistency that they're after. And what happens with the emulsifiers that are in some of these other coconut milks is that it actually makes it too thick. Okay, starting to soften it a little bit, so I'm going to put in the fried bean curd. So in they go. Just simply boiled and cubes, and the potatoes just in there. About 200 grams of potatoes in there. So again, this is the paste that we do. Give it a good shake. Now I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons to start with. Okay, so, as I say, normally about 1 tablespoon per person. I'm going to let that warm a little bit. For 2 tablespoons of paste, we recommend about half. So again, make sure you give the can a good shake before you open it. Coconut milk can also be frozen, so you can keep that in the freezer as you can with the paste, but not in the can. So transfer into something that's more suitable. Keep in the fridge for a couple of days, or you can freeze the coconut milk. Similarly with the paste, that's quite happy in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. or freeze in an ice cube tray. 1 cube, roughly 1 tablespoon. You use that in your cooking. And now I'm going to add my spring onions. Yep. So spring onions go in. There's probably about half a sprig there.
One sprig.
Yeah, not too much.
It's fine. Ready to serve.
Okay. Now then, off the heat. And then just right. So. As Chinese, we love rice, but the thing is, we don't eat Chinese rice. We tend to go for Thai fragrant rice. Now we say fragrant, but it's very, very subtle. It's often known as fragrant rice, jasmine rice. Sometimes it's flavoured with pandan, so they call it pandan rice. Okay, so just a modest serving to start with. Then in goes the curry. So you can see there how that green has been picked up by the courgettes. Okay, and now a bit of coriander, and that is ready to serve. Okay, so we've got, I can bring that closer. Yeah, I'm going to take that up to the